Hello and welcome back to Tales on Tap. It's another Tuesday. I've been away on holiday, but now I'm back to lead you through some noir craziness. But I'm not going to be doing it alone. I'm going to be doing it with a bunch of other lovely faces that you can see here. One face is missing tonight due to, you can always expect technical issues when you come here to Tales on Tap. And we've experienced one of those, but we're just going to plow on through. You should also know D&D Beyond, what we use for our character sheets and stuff, is down this evening. So expect a bit more of a loosey-goosey game tonight, There might not be that many dice rolls, but if you've seen these guys before, you know they've got more than enough roleplay to pick up that part of the game. Anyway, before we get into tonight's game, we do have a couple of announcements to get through. We're going to come first to... who should we do? Let's do Evan. What can you tell us about social media, mate?
All right, sure. So we are everywhere on social media, obviously. Literally everywhere, even Threads, surprisingly. I still haven't figured that one out. Anyway, we have a lot of stuff that's going to come up on social media. We've had a little bit of a break due to me being on holiday, but things are coming back very soon, and a lot of stuff will be about the convention, and there's going to be a lot of things thrown out. I'm also coming back to doing more of the what's it called? Out of context.
Messages out of context.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen it already, there's been on Instagram and X, as it's called, because I don't want to get sued. There's been a lot of pictures out of context. So if you haven't already guessed, go in and guess on what's happening if you haven't seen the episodes already. And keep on the lookout for more of those, because they're coming and they are so much fun to make.
Cool. Thank you, Evan. There was a mention of some kind of con coming up, I believe, Han. What can you tell us about that?
Indeed there was. So, as some of you may know, if you've tuned in previous weeks, we are going to be at Preston Games of Fantasy Con on the 28th of September at 53 degrees here in Preston. We are going to be doing our first ever live show, which is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of stuff in the works for that, and prepping and planning is going ahead. I think links to the tickets are down in the dungeon.
No, I'm going to put him in the thing right now.
He's on it. All right, Dan's on it. So yeah, if you're able to make your way to Preston, then come see us. We'd love to have you there, rather than just performing into a crowd of unfamiliar faces. But it'll be fun nonetheless, so be sure to attend. Also in the works, if you want to see more of my face, hear more of my voice and Dan's voice. I don't know where Dan is.
Not the other one.
Yeah, it's Dan. Then we did a guest one-shot over at Modified Roll. The first episode is now live, and the following episodes will be coming shortly. So be sure to go over to anywhere you cast your pods. I can speak. Don't worry about it. It's been a day. Anyway, you cast your pods, and be sure to go check that out. I do a very bad French accent, which is very funny because I'm actually fluent in French, so forgive me. We also last week did a DC20 playthrough one-shot, which will be coming to YouTube soon. So if you missed that on Twitch, the VOD will be coming on YouTube soon. So bear with us and it'll be there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Han. Dan, have you finished updating things and ready to give some more information about where we are and where you can watch our stuff? If that's what you were going to do, I think.
Sure, yeah. So we are obviously live every single Tuesday, for the most part, here on Twitch, but you can catch all of our previous episodes over on YouTube. If you are new to D&D and you have people that are new to D&D and you want to introduce them to it, there's a really cool video that we put together on how to play D&D and the basics of it over there as well, which currently has, guys, 3,000 views. I think it's our high, nearly 4,000 views. I think it's our highest viewed video on there so far. So yeah, all the previous campaigns, all the one shots we've done, and obviously anything that will be here live will be put up on YouTube as well, including Dan's wonderful one shot that we sat through last week. We didn't just sit through it, we played it and we enjoyed it. That made it sound really bad, didn't it? So yeah, the DC 20 one-shot that we endured last week will be up on YouTube this week. We are just finalizing the editing, and it will be up on YouTube. We are also talking about maybe doing a quick review video with those who were there last week about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we'd like to see more of, things like that. So yeah, go over to YouTube, hit subscribe, and you'll see more of our content over there.
Thank you so much, Dan. Now, as I said earlier, there's no D&D Beyond tonight, so combat's going to be a little bit tricky to do this evening. However, when there is combat on this channel, we are supported by a wonderful sponsor in that. Dan, can you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely. If you enjoy watching us do our combat thing and want to emulate that as best you can at your table with maps, tokens, and all the kind of things that go with it, then make your way over to Tom Carter's Battlemaps. I don't know. Where you can find all the finest quality battle maps, both digital and real, for your purchase and digital consumption. You can use them, make yourselves feel like us, or even better yourselves. So go over there, find their things downstairs, support people in this space.
Fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, there are some technical difficulties. Natalie, how do you feel about doing a sponsor segment, or would you like me to take that away for you?
I think it's probably best if you do honors. I may have fixed my technical issues, so
Oh, well.
I'm working on it.
Well, while Natalie works on that, I'll just tell you a little bit about our other sponsor, Valkyrie RPG. They are a retailer of all things D&D, whether that's dice. My camera's just gone now as well, perfectly timed. Whether it's dice, apparel, other things like that, you can find their stuff at valkyrie-rpg.co.uk. And if you go to the checkout with some things in your basket, you can use the code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off. That doesn't apply to subscription boxes because they are already very heavily discounted. Right, I've got some camera problems to sort out. And
yeah, sorry, Chris, just a slight correction. Dan will tell you it's pronounced apparel.
oh, my apologies. My absolute apologies. I'm terrible at speaking this language, but yes, no, you are
Very
right.
happy in the way I talk.
My camera has mysteriously fixed its own issues without my tampering, so we love that. We hope that that happens for Natalie as well, and that we're all going to be here by the time we get back from the intro for Sins of the Peacekeeper, right here on Tales on Tap. Stay tuned. Last time on Sins of the Peacekeeper, as the group arose from a early slumber to make sure that they were as prepared as possible for the operation ahead, they were awoken by a surprising noise, the sound of Arturius's wife returning from a day out in the city. They were strewn around various parts of the house, and she was slightly displeased by their pleasant presence, but seemed to have more important matters to attend to. A difficult conversation took place between Arturius and his wife, Evangelina, but it was mutually agreed that they should go their separate ways. Leaving the house, the rest of them outside, pretending not to listen in, they made their way towards an area in Witham to meet with one of Arturius's contacts, a chap by the name of Isaac Hempstead, who Arturius affectionately calls Eyes. He was joined by Marcus and by Jax, leaving Lumiel and Gil outside to cause a little bit of terror while they were there. It was a shipping company that this individual seemed to operate, but he appeared to have his fingers in many more pies than that. A little information was gained from Eyes, in particular the name of one individual matching the description of one of the assailants who had come in recently looking for magical transportation outside of the city with very hot contraband. This gave them possibly the last clue that they needed in this investigation of who amongst this group could be the double agent. They then headed towards Pritchard's Bakery, the safe house where this group was held up, and began hatching their plan. And it was a very good plan. Now, I'm not going to sit here as a bitter DM and describe how you guys ruined everything I had hoped for. So I just want to come to you individually and just give me a standout moment from that combat, whether it be a piece of information you gained, an action you or a party member took, or just a vital point. So I'll come to you, Dan, first. What can you start us off with?
Me, Dan?
Yes.
So we decided that the best way to infiltrate this bakery was to split the party. That we found through a very careful and very well done scouting mission from Lumiel as she circled the bakery above that there was 3 entry points. So Jax decided to go on the roof with Lumiel, Marcus decided to go to one of the other doors, and both Artemis and I decided to take one of the other entrances as well. The plan was that Artemis, I had the ability to cast invisibility, and I cast it on Artemis and open the door. Now there was traps or an early warning system, so to speak. It was a broom with a bucket kind of leant against the door that if the door opened it would cause a crash and all the rest of it. But we managed to get past that, and Artemis entered the building undetected.
I'll throw it to Artemis there to continue the story from his perspective.
Oh, I thought we were just doing standout moments. I had one prepared.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Standout moments, whatever.
Okay, cool. All right. Just for the future references, I've resigned myself to being the other Dan, so you can just call me other Dan. It's fine. That's how it will distinguish me. So standout moment for me is the fact that we got to see a crocodile transformation, because we don't see crocodiles much. It's very much bears, wolves, badgers, sort of like mammalian clawy things. I like a crocodile just coming out of nowhere and just starting to like snap at people. That's dope.
Nice.
But as a continuation on from where Dan left off, Artemis, as quietly as humanly possible, under invisibility, started to make his way into the building, reading as much ahead as he could using his telepathic ability to scan for thoughts, finding concerned individuals, what he believed to be REM dream kind of thoughts where it was disjointed and nothing made sense, and a couple of very aggressive individuals unhappy with the way things have turned out. Honing in on the one that was scared the most, as there was talk of a hostage and someone that needed saving, he made his way to a flappy door and still invisible. Yes.
A curtain for those.
Yeah, a curtain.
That's not what they're called. made his way to the flappy door and opened it while invisible, which caused the hostage, a young girl, to stir, which in turn stirred the big angry orc that was sleeping while guarding and now awake. Flinging open the door, wondering what was making them so uneasy at the time, Artemis stood inches from this person invisible, and as they went to call for help, having noticed the bucket and broom no longer against the door, Artemis held them in place with a hold person and kept them in as he guided the little girl outside to find his friend outside.
Okay. And with that, the signal to begin the operation was begun. Jax, can you take us
Yeah.
through the initial phases of that?
Oh,
operation?
you know, with SWAT team like precision and timing, Jax propelled from the roof and swung through the window, landing into a seemingly empty room. But then saw a mezzanine layer on which 3 people were asleep, just rising, and he jumped up with preternatural kind of agility, fired 2 shots, one at each twin, the 2 human twins that were there, and then bounced back down. And then fighting kicked off.
Yes, the battle ensued, and there was some quite early wins for you guys, which very much tipped the balance. Having caught them unawares in the evening, a couple of them were asleep. And with this surprise round kicking off, Arturius, and with the help of Lumiel and Artemis, managed to very quickly dispatch 2 of the foes. One a sallow-faced gnome, and the other a harcourtfish archer. As the battle crescendoed, Marcus burst through the room. What happened from your perspective, Marcus?
Well, from Marcus' perspective, it was met by an odd sight, which was a dwarf lying on a table in a sleepy or drunken stupor. But thanks to some previous intel, we knew that it was a possible chance of this dwarf being the undercover agent that we needed to help get out of his sticky situation. So instead of doing his usual thing, which is to smash heads and ask questions later, Marcus stood down and waited for the dwarf's response. And after a bit of convincing, and with the help of his other teammates running through the building, knocking heads, the dwarf eventually decided to join us in the fight, realizing that we were, in fact, the less bad guys.
The less bad guys. I like that a lot. And Lumiel, having assisted in the dispatch of 2 of these horrible foes already, you joined the fray just as the last 2, the twins, tried to make their escape. Can you take us through the crescendo of this battle, please?
So yeah, after the crocodile transformation and taking that girl down, the twins tried to run, and Jax, I believe, got one, but the other one was hot-footing it. So Lumiel went after and shot him down in the back.
Indeed
While
you
he was
did.
running away scared.
Yes, in true Lumiel ruthless style, despite her friendliness. So yeah, and with that, the operation was over, but was it a success? Have they made the right decision? They stand now, some of them out in the alleyway, facing down the foes that they had just cut down, the rest inside, and this dwarf, who, before he came to assist you, was called to by these individuals that say, "Welgar, finally you're here!" To which he responded, "My name's not fucking Welgar!" And then missed his attack. But the din of combat has begun to subside. And you guys are stood in this bakery, this ramshackle shack, almost. What would you like to do? We are out of combat.
Okay. As soon as combat finishes, I am going to
Right.
spin.
Well, good question.
Evan, can you hear Dan?
Evan, I
Because
think you might
Dan
have to
was
unmute it.
talking.
No, I can't hear Dan. Speak, Dan.
No, fuck you.
Okay, now I can hear him.
I'll try that again.
Just
Everyone,
ignoring you.
everyone, positions, and what would you like to do?
So, as the room slows to a stop, I will throw my sword at Marcus's fate. No, I will kind of like, with my sword kind of drawn to the window, kind of like look around, like turn my head around to get a sense of the room before drawing the sword directly towards the dwarven individual, and I'll just take a few steps forward, only 5 feet, but a few paces forward, and kind of facing him, just go, "So, finally got your bearings, I see. Thanks for all the help back there, by the way. We really needed it."
And you lot are my relief. This is a hard word to say in a Scottish accent. And you lot are my relief team.
No, darling, we're your rescue team.
I suppose you're right. Well, it took you long enough as well. We've been shacked up here for 2 days. We were nearly making a escape.
Well, it's a good job we got here when we did. You looked like you were on your last legs there. You know, edging closer and closer towards the door, little legs shaking. Don't worry, I'll get a sense for these things. If you don't mind, could you just move out of the way of that door? Thank you. And I just kind of like walk past him. And as
He
I
put a hand up on your stomach,
Yeah.
on your sort of sternum, to stop you as you walk past him. Listen, darling. When you've been undercover with a gang of cutthroats and murderers for the past month and a half, then I'll let you question my bravery. Self-preservation is a strong thing.
Okay, so 2 mistakes have just been made in the last 10 seconds. Firstly, don't presume to place your hand on me again. And secondly, you're right. Self-preservation is a hell of a trait. And to that end, there is, I believe, a little child out in the alleyway who is currently sat behind a barrel, scared out of their mind, that I need to go and see to. So, if you don't mind, could you just, take off these dainty little hand from my chest? Thank you.
You see his face sort of goes from this very wrinkled, stern frown to a bit more of a relaxed and a very slow blink as you mention that there is a little girl waiting outside, safe. He takes his
who
hand
had the bigger one?
immediately off your hand. He takes his hand immediately off your chest.
And I just kind of just before I take a step, I just kind of lean in and go, "You did well, man. Don't worry about it."
Appreciate what you done.
And
Well,
I begin to walk out, and I immediately whip the tail out of my pocket and put the tail on.
okay.
And then you can come back to me in a sec. But I'll be checking in with Fortress in a second.
He does turn he turns slowly and acknowledges you in the room, turns over his shoulder to nod to you, Lumiel, as you sort of come back through the windows. I'm assuming you guys are not standing out in the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm picking up the body and I'm bringing it back in.
Okay, good shout.
Sick.
Lumiel's not doing that because she's tiny. She's coming through the window that Jack's SWAT teamed through. And she came in at the tail end of that conversation and just kind of went, "Oh, okay. Oh, that's my phone."
I think we should let her off.
It was
Let's let her
vibrate.
off.
It was
on
vibrate. It might be a minus D4, but I'll judge when the time comes.
What I
Time
was
for
going to
it.
say, as Jax was doing that, I was going, because I already have my tail in, I was going to say, just on the tail on the open line, mission complete, I think. We're still at the bakery, but the undercover agent we believe is secured, and the others are dealt with. Hostages have also been rescued, I believe.
Could I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was the dwarf, right? Otherwise, I think we fucked up.
After your words, there is a 1 or 2 second pause. Good work, agents. Please bring the agent and hostage back to base. Crown and Elizabeth will make sure that everything's tidy.
Hi, Fortress. So, just an update. We have secured the bakery and the hostage inside. We've managed to make contact with the undercover agent, but the area is secure and there's been no fatalities on our side.
Thank you, Agent. We'll send Cran and Lizaleth up shortly to make sure everything is clear. Please return the hostage and agent to base.
No problem.
He's not only blind, he's deaf also.
I didn't have my tail on in time. I'd literally just gone, whoop. Okay, yeah. So,
the dwarf, sort of, as you're bringing him in the window, Jax and Lumiel, you fly back in. He sort of takes a moment to scan across the room at all of you. And he says, Agent Yolnir Sandor, I thank you for getting me out, but it was nearly too late. Where's that fucking gnome?
Oh, I killed him. He's just through those doors that are now open. You should be able to see him if you turn around.
He goes back round and turns round to the shattered doors and sees the gnome on the floor and just walks up to him and with his... what was it again? Did he have 2 axes or a hammer? No, it was a hammer. With his hammer, just whoosh, pastes the thing's head. Good riddance.
You fucking beat me to it.
Listen, this operation, was it a success?
I'd say so.
I don't mean
You're
I don't mean the rescue. I mean the recovery of the artifact.
Yes.
And it wasn't all for nothing. Wasn't supposed to go this way.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, what the fuck happened?
He sort of turns to you and he goes, you sort of get an essence from him that he's not been around people that he thinks he can trust for a long time, and he almost starts exhaling to give a full report and then straightens his back and wipes the hammer, now coated in sort of crimson. Says, I'm afraid I don't know what your clearance level is yet, so I'm unable to divulge until I've spoken to my superior officer.
Alright, it's been a long day. I get you've been under a lot of stress.
Is it really just you? What service are you with?
We don't know your clearance, I'm afraid. I'll have to get that from my superior officer.
What he said.
Enough said. Let's get out of here and get that girl back to her mother. She's been through enough.
Speaking of our superiors, they're requesting you and the hostage to just go through and have a little debrief. I don't think it will take long. So their priority is probably to get her back to her mum. But
I should hope so.
before we go.
Aye, I'm ready to make my report.
Okay. Is there anything here of note that we should be we should take back with us to report in?
Oh, and you do hear a little oh as as Lumiel flies out of the room.
Right. Okay.
Down, she is going to fly to this room.
This was a safe house by chance. There were no materials kept here.
And nothing brought.
No.
Okay.
If
They did
somebody
have
sees a dagger
some
on the gnome, don't touch it directly. It's apparently cursed.
Can I have you make a Arcana check for me, please?
Sure thing. Arcana is intelligence based, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. I do not have proficiency with it, but I do have a +3, so that's 18.
18. Okay. I want you to describe to me what from the investigations you did led you to that conclusion, and then I might give you more information, or I might.
So back in the alley when we took the report of, or when I investigated the murder of the grandfather,
Mhm.
I spoke to the clerics at the scene, or what I assume to be clerics, who did, if I remember, some kind of detection spell on the substance inside of his body, and said that it was not only was it extremely acidic in nature, corrosive, but it was also dark magic. This was something not out something out of this world, and something that people don't dabble with.
Okay, then I will say that what you know of dark magics, rarely are they offered without a price. So actually, yes, you are fairly convinced that such dark magic and such bad aura is probably connected in some way, though may grant great power, connected to some kind of bargain.
And also knowing from personal experience that power comes with a shit ton of baggage.
Uh-huh.
And a little sprinkling of responsibility, but there you go.
Arthur,
No, I left that at home.
Yes. Yeah.
you head out into the alleyway and towards the barrels in which you told this young girl to take shelter.
Yep.
And you see, peeking from one side closest to the wall, 4 tiny little fingers and a single little eye.
I kind of walk up towards the barrel, not too close, and just kind of like, not kneel down, but just kind of crouch, put my arms on my knees and go, "It's okay. It's safe now. Are you okay?
I'm scared. I want my mother.
And we're going to get you back to your family right now. What's your name, dear?"
Mabel.
"Mabel, my name is Arthur.
Hi, Arthur.
Okay. And I'm a great and valiant warrior. Nothing else is going to hurt you, is going to cause you any harm. You're completely safe. Now,
Are you the one I wished for?
Yes. Yes, I am.
You see her face peers more as the barrel kind of a little bit. She steps round and just sort of jogs up to you a little bit. Are you taking me to my mummy now, then?
Very shortly, we're going to take you somewhere that's safe, and then we're going to give your mummy a call, and we're going to get you home this very evening. Okay? Now, you have been a very big, brave girl, and I need you to be a big, brave girl from now on. Okay?
Well, I did cry a bit, but I won't cry anymore.
I cry sometimes too. It's a sign of bravery.
Is it?
It's the fear leaving your body.
She like looks at you and then like sees your looks to the side, sees your sword, and you see her eyes sort of like brighten a little bit. She just looks up at the sky for a second, and then she kind of runs to your side, past you about 1 foot, and then looks back at you.
Oh,
expectantly.
Yeah.
Are we going now?
It's very soon. Very soon. Just come with me. We've just got to do a couple more little things here, and then we're going back to somewhere safe, and we'll get in touch with your mummy. Okay?
Can we go now?
No, in a minute.
Okay.
Okay? Follow me. And
Okay. Are we going now then?
I walk back towards the bakery and just kind of like turn and just kind of kneel down and go, "No. In a minute."
Okay. How long's that?
Longer than now, but not as long as later.
You stand up and once again begin to walk back towards the bakery. After a few steps, you feel a slight tug of a hand just holding on to your like sort of the side of your trousers and just walking along.
Okay. I kind of slow my pace so that she can kind of walk next to me, and I want to go back into the bakery. And as we do, I'm going to tap the tail. Before I do, I'm going to go. Mabel, whereabouts in the city do you live?
In Cobblebank,
In Cobblebank. And how old are you?
I'm 6.
6. And do you know what street you live on?
No,
What does your house look like?
it's only small. It's got a little tin roof, and it's got like a pink wall on one side, and then a green wall on the other side. That's the wall that Mummy lets me paint on.
Okay, that is enough. Thank you. Tap the tail and go. Fortress, the hostage is a 6-year-old girl originating from Cobblebank. Kind of hard to pinpoint an exact street or location of their property, but they have said that it's got a tin roof, pink wall on one side, green wall on the other side. We need to try and locate the parents with immediate effect. They will be coming back to the house with us for now, but sooner we can get hold of their parents, the better. Could we maybe get the dogs on that?
No need, Agent. The mother who escaped the hostage situation is in the custody of the Crown Service. She is safe and awaiting the return of her daughter.
Wonderful.
Bring her here and we will transfer there immediately.
Wonderful. Will do.
I appreciate your concern, Arturius.
All children are innocent.
As you guys, there's a few shrugs there. As you guys,
Have you
sort
noticed
of
the
meet
ones
up-
that shrugged haven't got kids?
Lumiel, having been sort of given this warning by Marcus, what are you doing?
So, Lumiere was interested in the bow that the archer. She was wondering if it was the skill of the archer, or because of her knowledge of magical things, she wanted to quickly check out the bow of the orc.
Okay, are you using any spells for this, or are you just simply using your intuition?
I've got identify.
Are you going to use Identify?
I will use identify.
Okay, cool. You cast Identify on this bow. It is a +1 bow, but that's it. So you are able to determine that probably a lot of the skill from this comes from the user. You do detect through, just to make this more clear, you do detect that this has been used to amplify magical abilities before. It doesn't do that innately, but you can tell that magical abilities have passed through this. You suspect that this archer might have some arcane abilities of their own.
Okay. Well, I'm going to nab that. And while I'm nabbing that, I am going to do a cursory, because I do realise that people are looking to leave now. So I'm doing a cursory look over the body and that little room for money.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like standout-y shiny.
Sure.
And also like anything with the insignia of the snakes.
Okay. I'd like an investigation check.
Okay. That's intelligence.
Yes.
So my intelligence is good, yeah.
Fairly sure you are proficient
Ooh.
with investigation.
Okay, I got a 19 on the dice.
Oof.
I've got I've got a 16 in intelligence.
Plus
You got a
three.
+3.
Yeah,
and
just
I'm also proficient.
I just
So
go
plus
+5.
six.
+5,
plus
+6. Yeah.
So 24.
24. Okay, so you start digging around. You find first, near where the bed that Mabel was sleeping in, there are various scratches and rubs of like little bits of charcoal and stuff like that, where she's been drawing various childlike drawings of like a little house with a sun and two characters holding hands, one big and one small, and a few other those kind of things. You find in this room, underneath the pillow and bedding of this bed here, the little kid's bed is where this drawer is. You find a coin pouch.
Nab that.
Nab that. You also find you find a rod of some kind, like a small like that. Looks maybe like a wand or something.
I won't identify it, but I will nab it.
Okay. Other than that, you just find sort of the normal. There's a stack of arrows there. There's like some shoes which smell really bad, leathery shoes. But there's nothing that you find else in this room that appears to be of interest to you.
Okay. Nothing with the insignia on it.
No, there is no
Okay.
Viper insignias.
So once I've done that, I will come back to the room with
Okay.
the bow slung over my back. That probably looks far too big.
Mhm.
Guys, don't forget to try and look out. We need to prove who these guys are. So maybe someone wants to like look at the bodies. Oh, I've done the archer. Smiles to herself.
Artemis, we haven't come to you yet. Is there anything you've been doing since the combat has ground to a halt?
Yeah, so as it got very intense very quickly and two rather testosterone-filled men came up to each other and started sort of arguing, Artemis kind of sort of like stood waiting for that to end. And then as people started like doing sort of more investigatory bits and sort of like sending messages back and forth and that kind of stuff, he will look to the Air Genasi, having thought about this already, and just wander over in his quiet way and just start going through and searching for anything that looks of note. So sort of letters, signs, symbols, anything that they were wearing that looks like it would be of note or value. He is trying to discern that and just take it off and not even keeping it, so just place it on the table next to him as he just sort of disassembles this Air Genasi stuff.
Okay. You start looking through the Air Genasi's things. They have a rod on them. I mean, like a quarterstaff almost.
Mhm.
And they do have a patch of gold, a patch of coins again. Nab that, I assume.
No, so with the rod, he just goes, no, not interested. God, no,
Okay.
He's just like anything that's not particularly interesting or mundane, he just sort of like throws back behind himself. So you hear things clattering as he's just like going through stuff.
Lumiel's not in the room yet, is she? Because that would break her heart.
No, this will be
No, this-
happening while you're like,
right.
doing everything
Damn it.
else.
Towards the beginning. Yeah, okay. And also in your investigation, you find a scrap of paper. And on there is a letter which gives instructions of delivery, though it seems to be coded.
Okay.
There is the things that indicate that to you are like there is definitely something that is a time on there, but a lot of it is sort of mumble jumbled, written in different words and backwards and stuff like that. It's going to take some time to figure that out. But at the bottom, quite clear, or unless it's been recoded in some way, there is a name.
Okay.
It says Cantor Mivhal.
Okay, you're gonna have to spell out that last name because I heard Mivhal.
So it's Cantor, Cantor,
Cantor.
and Mivhal, which is
Yep.
MIRV''HAL.
I got it right. Sorry.
That's impressive.
Okay. Sort of standing up from the body, having tossed anything that was uninteresting, then sort of holding this bit of paper and looking at it. Just from, I don't know if it's as a well-known thing, but would it take an investigation to figure out what kind, if this is a cipher or if this is more something akin to thieves' cant?
I'll let you determine that at least with an investigation check. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That's a natural 2, so I had no idea even if I knew what was going on, so this is just gibberish to me.
If it's any code that you've heard before, you've forgotten it.
Yeah, cool, okay. Sort of looking to the two... There's one brother left inside now because Jax brought in one of them, didn't they?
I'll if I notice that the other one's not there, I will have immediately gone out. I'll go out that window, and I'm just shoving the other body through the other window.
As a sack of gold hits them as they hit the floor, just shit flying from
At one
the
point, you do notice that there's like a man and a woman who walk down, down this street here. They sort of stop for a moment, and the woman places a hand on the man's chest, and they just sort of turn around in kind and just start walking the other way. But they didn't appear to be like, oh shit, run away. Something. They were just like, oh, let's not go here.
Kill them now, Artemis.
Do you want to just set fire to them? I can do it.
Blow them up. Blow them up.
So yeah, as the other body falls in and everyone reconvenes in
Grab a
the
drink.
room, Artemis will stand up from the edge and Nasty, sort of holding the note in hand, looking to the three in with him. Go, okay, so I don't know what this. I mean, I thought I spoke weird, but this is nonsense words. But we have a name now for something that's going on. And he just points to the name of the bomb and just hands it to whoever wants to take it to pass around.
I'll grab it.
Uh,
All right.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do now that you're all gathered with all the bodies and the 6-year-old girl
Yeah. So
seeing this destruction?
as I kind of walk in with the 6-year-old girl, I'm going to go, okay, so Mabel, these are my friends. They're just like me. They are fearless warriors. You're safe with us. We just need to do a little bit of a look around, but you could really help with that. So when you first came here, did you see the bad people like carrying anything or anything of note? Were they carrying like a sack or anything like that?
Sort of as you're talking to Mabel and as you're walking through to introduce them to the rest of your friends, you sort of walk through this section here, between sort of where the kitchen is and where now the pasted body of this gnome is. As she sort of walks in, there's a widening to the eyes, and then she looks down at the boots, and she grabs a carrot off the counter next to her and throws it at the mushed corpse. And goes,
Sorry, what were you saying?
So as soon as will I get the sense of the kind of like immediate intent towards the boots?
No, the boots were more of like she saw this horrible paste on the floor, and then below that paste was a pair of boots she recognised and didn't like the wearer of.
Okay,
so
cool.
Threw a carrot at him.
Like it.
You recount what you just said again, and she says,
I don't remember. They put a bag over my. It was only 2 of them first. It was 3. It was the 2 ones who looked the same and the little short one, but not that mean short one. He came the last, and they came in, and we was just walking past this house, and we saw them, and my mum shouted, "Hey, you're not supposed to go in there," as they were running in, and the sort of skinnier of the 2 that looked the same, he ran after me, and then the dwarf shouted at him, and they both grabbed my mum and me, and they put a bag on our heads, and I heard my mummy, and then I heard the short man with a really low voice say something, but it was kind of chaotic because it all happened within like a couple minutes. Okay. And then my mummy was gone, and I've been really worried about her.
Okay, well, look, I've spoke to one of my friends who is at the place we're going to go to, and your mummy's fine. She's with the Crown Service, and we're going to take you to them in a minute.
Are we going now?
No. And then I kind of like walk in and just kind of like reach down and grab a hand and just go. Also, throwing carrots won't do much damage. You need to pick something heavier than that up next time.
Like a potato.
Like a rock or a potato or something heavy that'll do some damage.
I like potatoes. I don't want to waste them.
Okay, well, rocks then.
Good thinking. Good thinking.
Rocks or daggers or
where are you leading this
stars?
Where are you leading this kid to, by the way?
Into this room. I'm not taking her to where all the bodies are. I'm going to take her in here, and I'm going to sit her at the table. And then I'm going to go to where this fireplace is and just see if there is any like off bits of charcoal or off bits of like burntish wood that I can give her and just go, right, draw on the table with that.
Yeah. There's a few charred bits of wood remaining.
Yeah. So I'm just going to hand her a charred bit of wood and just go, I know it's not proper, but there you go.
Grabs it with a fist and starts.
Yeah. And then I'm going to walk directly up to the dwarf and go, right, well, We have it under good authority that they have taken things from the Obscuratorium. Where are they?
Well, what they were there for, they did not get. Whether they took anything else while we were there, I don't know. I was running.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
He continues.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to move him away from places where people might get hurt, but it didn't go how it was supposed to. I did my best. I tried to minimize casualties, but there were guards on routes that we didn't expect. And then when we got here, these twins saw these two, and I managed to free his mother. And he sort of writes himself again. But I must debrief my superior.
You will in a moment. You'll come with us. We have somebody that you need to debrief first, holding a much higher rank than us. Once that's done, you'll be released into your regular outfit, where you can debrief them.
Very well. Let's wait no further.
Oh no, we will wait until we're ready to go. Guys, we need to search the room, the bodies, search this place from top to bottom. Then I think we call the dogs. We don't want anybody stumbling across this place, finding bodies just laying in wake.
You see Artemis is already sort of over the Air Genasi druid who is lying dead on the floor and is picking up and holding up a piece of paper and passing it around everyone with his name on it. Marcus, what are you up to?
Well, the insight check was a 22.
Okay. You get a sense that this guy is sort of struggling to keep up his sort of protocol-trained mind amongst the relief of being set free and saved from his fate. You get a sense that everything coming out of his mouth right now is not going through many checkpoints, and therefore he's very unlikely to be making up stories to try and protect himself or anything like that.
Okay. Good.
But then when he does sort of catch himself doing it, as he says he needs to report to his superior, you see the sternness come back. But no sign of deception.
Right, so after grabbing the note from Gil's hand, could I have a look at it?
Yeah, you see much the same thing as I described, and the same name at the bottom. Do you want to investigate further, or is there anything else you want to do?
If I could have a look towards. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but being an investigator of the former Argent Star, I would have gotten sit through quite a lot of paperwork.
I would say so, yeah. You've also investigated a lot of clues and things like that. You are a very keen mind as well, so give me an investigation check.
Right, okay. So that is a 25.
25, okay. You are quite quickly, though it is not one you recognize, able to determine that this is clearly some kind of ciphered message. That as you look through it, you've seen many ciphers before which are based on existing books and things like that. This one looks like some kind of numerical cipher, which would suggest its creator was of a very high intelligence.
Let's give it to Quill.
To work it out will take a great deal of time and a great deal of successful checks with a fairly high DC.
Okay, very good, Gil. I think I might need to spend a moment or two with Quill on this.
I was only joking. I was more making the point that I am not smart.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, two minds are greater than one, so can I keep hold of this, guys?
Yeah?
You want to?
There's another room, right? It's this building?
Yeah, I think so.
Have we checked that?
No, I never went in there because there was more important things. But it's next
The
to
lights were
the
out.
floppy door.
But
Should
I'll
we?
check it.
Open the curtain. Oh my god, it's the Chupacabra!
Do you want
I'm with
backup?
you, Lumiel.
She just goes, I'll check it, and just goes.
I am going with her.
Lumiel flies out the room, and Jax sort of like almost like big brother looking after little sister, kind of quickly chases afterwards. You enter this room, and it appears very dusty, fairly unscathed. There is a slight arch of dust in the floor. Give me an investigation check.
I will.
mean,
Are they
they
very
are-
large slippers that are on the floor?
Those are
Wow.
Oh.
And come proficient. 14.
11. I rolled
11.
really bad.
Well, you both pretty much see much of the same thing. As you step into the room, you sort of look back at your own footprints, and they're darker than anything else you see in this room in terms of disturbed dust. You see 2 bedrolls sort of shoved up to one side. One of them looks a little bit burnt. The remnants of perhaps a vagrant of some sort once lived here for some time, but has since found a new abode and doesn't appear to have been used by its recent inhabitants.
Okay.
Anything else anyone wants to do?
Yeah, just again, I want to be searching all the bodies. I want to be searching this room just to see. I'm just trying to see if we can find anything that we could, that could have come from the Obscuratorium. Any other little niceties that we can find is great, but I want to try and search everywhere we can.
I would like to help with that if I can.
Okay, I will either allow you to roll individually or give one of you advantage, whatever you like.
I will help Marcus. How's that? Because I am not good at investigation, so I will give you the advantage on investigation while I aid him.
All right. Ooh, thank Christ for that.
Oh.
That was one better. So I got a 12.
12. Okay. Searching around sort of the areas where you saw them bedded down, also searching the bodies, you find 2 more coin pouches. One quite large, one fairly normal personal sized thing, but there is one fairly hefty bag of coin. You find stuffed under this sort of chest of drawers here to the side of this bed, you find what appears to be a leathery, quite finely made cloak. And you find with a 12, that's about it.
Okay, so 2 comb pouches and a cloak.
Yes. You also find to the naked eye what appears to be a compass.
Cool. Grab that too then. I'll just hold up the cloak.
I'm gonna say both you two are aware of all of these finds as you're investigating together, and you're sort of telling each other, "No, I've already looked there," and all that kind of stuff. So,
I don't mind. I mean, I don't have a cloak, but if you want it, then you can. But
I'm no use for it.
okay,
Do you want the big one or a small one? And I'll hold up the comb pouch.
let's flip a coin for it.
okay, can one of you roll me a d6, please? High is heads, low is tails. Who's going to call it?
I'll roll it. You call it, Marcus.
Okay, tails.
So that's 1 to 3.
So that's 4 on the die.
Okay, so it's heads. So big pouch goes to.
Oh, that's a big pouch. Yeah, cool. And then do I get an arcane sense from the compass?
Give me a Arcana check.
Okay, I am proficient in that, but I think it's just a +4. Oh, I rolled a 19, so a 23.
23. Okay, so while you're not able to study the intricacies or identify any carvings or runes on this because you cannot see, that has led to other sort of divinely assisted senses, and you do get a rumbling of Arcana through this item.
Okay. So I'll you want the cloak? I'll take the compass.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I do have an idea because we need to secure the dagger. So I'm gonna take the cloak and try and slide it underneath the dagger and wrap it so that I'm not actively touching the dagger. I'm touching the cloak.
Okay, yeah, give me a sleight of hand check, just because you're being very, very careful about how you do that.
You can tell we've been burned before. Do you touch
Yeah,
it?
we've been burned so much before.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand, I'm not proficient, so that's a straight 16.
Straight 16 is enough to sort of sweep it underneath, flip it up a little bit, and then wrap it up. You have a cloak with a dagger in it.
I've never been so nervous in my entire life over a roll.
Cool.
All right, cool.
And then, as we are about to leave, I'll walk up to Mabel. I still have my wedding ring, right?
You have it, yeah, you have it in your possession.
I'm going to kind of like kneel down towards Mabel and go, oh, Mabel, you'll never guess what I've just found.
What?
And I'm going to pull my wedding ring out of my pocket and go, and bite it and go, I think it might even be real gold. A real treasure. Like the kind of treasure you find at the end of a treasure map.
Oh, yeah, I think my mummy dropped that.
I think she did as well, and I'm going to hand it to her.
She cups her hands and it falls in.
But it might be a magic ring that turns invisible if you drop it. So put it in your pocket and keep it safe until you get back to your mummy.
My dress hasn't got any pockets. Oh, I know.
And she pulls away her little red headband, puts it on top, and then rolls it up around the ring.
Yeah, cool. Right, are you ready?
Are we going now?
Now we are going. Okay. Now,
Now?
yeah.
Okay.
And as she stands up,
Top
and
stall.
I'm just going to, oh, and if we encounter any big scary monsters, you promise you're going to protect me, right?
No, you're supposed. I wish that. No, that's. You're supposed to protect me and my mummy.
Yeah, and
That's what I wish for.
yeah, it was a. She's 6 years old, Arthur. What are you doing?
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything before you head back to the Last Chance Saloon?
Just en route, I'm gonna sidle up next to. Did you say his name was Mjolnir Sandor?
Yolnir Sandor.
Yolnir.
Sandor, Sandurr.
Cool. I just kind of, just under my breath, just kind of go, you did what you could in the situation you were in. Don't beat yourself up about that. Just as we're walking.
Yeah, he sort of, there's a moment as you sort of walk ahead of him. He says, "Did I at least get to know your names? So I know who
Jax.
to thank." Jax.
Do we all hear this?
Yeah, you guys are walking fairly close knit.
Meow.
Miel.
This is Mabel.
Hi, Mabel. Don't worry. We're going to get you to your mummy. You sort of see he goes to apologize almost, but then sees like the stature of this small girl and just sort of thinks probably not even worth trying to explain, you know.
As if Arthur kind of gets the sense that he's moving towards Mabel, I will just kind of like put a hand towards her shoulder and kind of, you know what I mean, like kind of tuck her in a little bit.
Yeah, you see,
Just
you do
almost
notice that
naturally.
Every now and then she's spending quite a lot of time looking back at him, not scared looking, just more like confused, but like just looking at him, just studying him.
And I'm Kor.
Kor.
I'm Gil.
Gil.
Marcus.
Marcus. Thank you, all of you. Well,
We're happy to help.
Yeah.
It's our job.
you guys make your way through the streets. As you sort of leave about 3 blocks of Pritchard's Bakery, you see probably more obvious to Arturius's eye, but also to Lumiel because she's quite perceptive. You see almost like at one point you walk through and at two corners of a crossroads, there are armed people in quite smart suits. One of them sort of sees you guys walk out, follow you, and then nod to the other guys across the room. Lumiel, this is kind of confusing to you, but Arturius, you've seen sort of defensive protocol before around a location of interest. This was probably the people who were keeping an eye on the perimeter rather than getting too close to the place. They peel off in separate directions. You guys will say you travel by the Silver Canal to East Arches and get off of the old Goodberry Road.
On the way, am I going to pass... am I going to pass my mistress's property?
Yes, it is just about 2 blocks off the old Goodberry Road, but it's sort of in a somewhat circuitous route on the way, between the station and the last Chancellor.
If you guys don't mind, just taking a 2-minute detour. Guys?
I'm fine with it.
No, go ahead.
Gil, I did hear you. Yeah,
Oh,
that's fine.
okay. It was just the resounding silence on... I can't read lips, and you guys are like...
I don't know what you can read and what you can't read. I'm
It's
just assuming you
fine.
know everything at
That's
this point.
Okay. I just have some news that I need to go and give quickly.
Right.
It won't take a minute. And then I'll kind of like direct the group past that property and
So you guys sort of see Arthur sort of gives you like a handout and a nod to sort of just wait a few doors down from this property, and he then approaches a modest terrace home typical of East Arches.
and I kind of like I'll knock on the door.
Okay. There's a pause, and then you see from a window close to the door what looks like a illuminating lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a minute later, the door opens ajar, and a familiar emerald eye pokes.
Hey.
She opens, clutching sort of a nightgown. What are you doing here so late?
I'm really sorry. I didn't. If you were asleep, I apologize, but I couldn't wait till morning. It's done.
You just missed my bath. What's done?
It's done. I'm all yours.
What are you telling me?
I'm telling you that the weight that has been burdening me for a while now has lifted. And you
see there's a look of immediate elation, and then a look of sort of thankfulness but concern.
Look,
She rushes out of the door, drapes her wrists around your neck. Are you okay?
I will be. Look, I'm not stopping. I'm still on the job. I'll come back once I've clocked off, and we'll talk. All right?
I hope you did this as much for you as you did for me, Arthur. For us.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Missed your bath. I mean, by this much. I mean,
Literally 15 minutes.
Fuck. And I just kind of like turn and walk back down towards the rest of the group.
Be careful out there, good Sir Knight.
My lady.
Shuts the door. And you hear, as you walk away, a squeal of excitement. You are all close enough to sort of see it on the peripheries. You don't get a clear look of this person until they do rush onto the doorstep to embrace Arturius.
Yeah.
The conversation was too hushed for you to hear from the other side of the road, though.
Sorry, guys. Let's go. Mabel? Mabel, where are you?
Pokes her head out from behind Yolnir.
Oh. Okay, I thought you put the ring on, and there's cross-dimensional planes that you could have just vanished to, and, I was just, thank goodness.
Is he the one who saved my mummy?
Nope, I am. Now, you've made a wish, and it was granted. Now, let's go.
Yolnir just kind of at the mention of this, he kind of like that, and then when you say no, it was me, he gives you a little nod.
And I just kind of like turn back and go.
You guys continue on to the Last Chance Saloon. Upon approach in this late evening, you see, standing outside of the Last Chance Saloon, two individuals flanking the door at either side, upright, wearing similar garments to those that you saw peel away from the perimeter of Pritchard's. Arturius, one of these is familiar to you. You guys begin to approach, but you don't sort of notice until you get within visual distance that you guys are clearly approaching the place. Sorry, I can't allow you to enter the Last Chance Saloon. Unfortunately, there has been a... Arturius?
I thought this night was going to go really well. It was going to be a smooth operation. It was, nothing was going to stand in my way, and yet here we are, face to face with a boulder.
Well, I didn't expect to see you here, and the feeling's mutual. They told me you retired.
I am tired. You probably misheard. And I just kind of give him embrace him.
Yeah. There's a strong couple of pats on the back, and he pulls you away from him, holding you by each shoulder. Sorry. What? There's a moment of confusion to even see you.
It's a long and arduous tale. I'm in a different outfit now.
I should have known you wouldn't retire that easy. Hunt's not over, huh?
The hunt's never over, my friend. The hunt is never over. Sorry, where are my manners? Guys, this is Reynard. Reynard, this is my team. Well, not my team, but the team I'm in.
Don't worry, he used to call us his team as well.
No, but that's because technically you were in my team. You didn't like that, but you were in my team.
We haven't gotten to...
don't worry, we don't like it either.
We haven't gotten to why you're here, but it's good to see you.
That we were called in on a special spec op that needed our attention.
Listen, buddy, I can't let you go in there. The King's Herald is here. You know protocol.
King's Herald is here.
Yep. And I've been under strict instructions to not let anyone in. Though there's not been too many punters coming around.
Bear with me. And I just kind of look to Jax and nod.
Fortress, we're outside. We're not being allowed in. Something about the King's Herald being there. What do you want us to do?
Welcome back, agents. You'll be allowed in shortly. Not 15 seconds later, as you guys are sort of twirling your thumbs and looking around, some of you giving Arturius some questioning looks. This Sir Reynard is sort of trying to stand straight, but then just keeps looking over at you guys, confused. The door opens to the Last Chance Saloon, and the half Minotaur, half Tiefling barman crooks his neck to get his horns through the door and places one hand on the underside of the top of the door. Looms out. You see both the Crown Service agents, including Sir Reynard, lean sort of away. He goes, looks over, sees the rest of you, and then cranes his neck to put his horns back through the door. Sir Reynard looks back at
He's not
you.
the talkative bunch.
I don't feel like arguing with him.
Oh no, you really should. That'd be fun for me to watch.
Well, I guess you're in this somehow. Go on in.
Yes, we are.
You guys step in as you see
As we step in, I saddle up next to Artorius. Go. I got 5 gold on the Minotaur.
I've got 10.
Well, as the door begins to slowly swing closed, Sir Reynard's hand stops it. Hey, Arthur. Let's get a whiskey soon and not talk about any of this.
Yeah. Hey. No, it is on me this time. It is on me this time.
It's on you the next 5 times, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
You head up with Alden and the small girl upstairs. You enter into the upstairs area of the Last Chance Saloon, your base area, and Fortress is there. Fortress in the common area. But leaving the office of the Regent is a elven man, dark grey hair, very straight, that comes down just below his shoulders, a circlet on his head with the symbol of Valvaris, and very long robes, and his hands are tucked within the sleeves of the robe. The Regent follows him out and says, "Well, that is a troubling development, but we'll keep an eye on things. You can tell him to rest assured. Oh, and we're still waiting on a little bit more information about that project we spoke about last time." Ah, yes. The preparations of the Silk Canal have already begun. We'll update you soon. It appears you have company. Oh, yeah, welcome back. These are the agents who I've been telling you about. An interesting bunch. Ah. Agent Sander. I trust you are not too harmed. Sandor steps forward. No. Am I supposed to know you? We'll be returning you to your division shortly. And I understand there was a hostage amongst you?
At this point, you will all see that Arthur is kind of like, his posture is very much stood, like almost like subconsciously. I have been kind of stood at attention to this individual, or like I wouldn't even know that I'm doing it. I'd have just spotted the thing and just go straight into it. And as soon as the question asks, I'll just kind of like look down and then just kind of like look straight back up.
Mabel peeks round your leg and then tugs your trousers. You sort of lean down slightly and she goes, "That's not my mummy."
I know.
Oh, okay. He continues, as you all sort of file into the room, almost subconsciously amongst this clear air of authority and gravity, this sort of hushed but loud voice that fills the room as he speaks. You all kind of file in and almost stand in a line. I imagine some of you sort of tuck yourselves to the back a little bit more than others.
No.
But nonetheless, he takes a walk down the line looks at all of you quite purposefully. Not judgmentally, but inspecting what is on show.
I wipe a little bit of blood off my face.
He just gives a one breath laugh.
I raise an eyebrow and I look him up and down as well.
He looks back at the regent. Well, my time here is done. I appreciate your audience, Regent. I will make my reports. We will deliver the hostage and the agent back to their families and their divisions. He begins to walk towards. He says, Agent Sander, please, if you'll accompany me, please bring the young girl with you. He says, you'll have to come with me now, love. Is that okay? I'm going to take you to your mother. Looks up at you, Arturius, looks round to the rest of you.
Okay. You're gonna go see your mummy now?
One more thing, though, first.
She runs round to you along the line, individually, and gives you a big hug. Some of you, she just hugs around your legs. Some of you, she sort of like reaches up for uppies.
Me, she leans down.
Yeah. Lumiel just sort of descends to her level, slightly shorter than her. She gives you a big cuddle and gives you a big squeeze.
Thank you for saving me. I didn't wish for you lot, but I'm glad you still helped.
We're
You
a
did
package
good.
deal.
Anytime.
Are you all knights?
Yes.
Sure.
Wow, so cool. Thank you again. I'll get my mummy to send you a Christmas present.
She runs off. And Sander just takes one sort of look back at you now in the presence of great authority and sort of begins to turn and walk out and stops at the door. Just walks out.
My shoulders just kind of like naturally then just fall a little bit.
Oh, appears you lot have done all right, haven't you?
Tell us.
Well, you got the man you were looking for, just like I knew you would. I'm sure you've got plenty of stories to tell. At this point, Fortress walks out into the room from her sort of little side office bit. Yes, it would appear that the operation has been a great success. Anything further to report other than what you informed us of? It seems all objectives that we have set you have been accomplished, but it's always good to know the lay of the land, just in case it should be relevant later.
Nothing that I can think of, Fortress.
Very well. Artemis.
Hmm.
You start feeling a little bit kind of dizzy. Like you feel like almost like your sort of head's being kind of pulled back a little bit, or maybe it's just the heaviness of your head, but rather than sort of slumping forward, you feel your head sort of going back a bit like that.
Okay.
Kind of disorientating.
Ever since Fortress walked into the vicinity of me.
You could assume that. Fortress begins to sort of fill you guys in on some of the details of what has been going on and reassures you that the Director General of the Crown Service is pleased, and begins congratulating you each individually on some of the reports that she's had of how things have gone. Arturius, you hear something of like a crackle of thunder, very distant, and something begins to tinge at the top of your head. At a certain point, while going through this, Fortress's words stop abruptly, and she says, She looks over to the Regent, who's just sort of muddling along, not really paying attention, relighting another cigarette. But as soon as Fortress's face snaps to the Regent, what is it? She says, something's happening. Something's happening. Something's happening. Artemis, can I have you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Absolutely. Wish I could now do because D&D Beyond is back. Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Cool. Just to let you know, I have advantage on these.
Yeah, no. And you would?
Okay, that is a 19.
Okay. You feel something now pulling your vision upwards. Something is trying to make you look up.
Oh, something is definitely happening. Why? Okay. I feel this too. What's going on? Fortress, what is up there? As you can sort of see him like trying to fight this unnatural urge to like move his head up and look up.
The Regent and Fortress both begin running to all the windows and pulling down metal shutters. Arturius, you at this, something's pulling this exclamation from Artemis. You look up, and your divine vision only extends a certain distance, but you are able to see the sky. It is dark. It is writhing. There is a purplish, green, dim light crackling between the clouds that you now see. The rest of you see both Artemis kind of struggling to keep his neck down and Arturius locked, staring at the ceiling of this room.
Can I try and move?
You have the ability to move. You have free control over your body, as do you, Artemis, but there is this dragging of your vision.
Yes. How intense a drag is this? Does it feel like something is touching me, like trying to pull my head up, or is it more of like a
it feels like the
urge to look up?
The muscles in the back of your neck are tightening.
What is there? Something wants me to look. I can't stop this, guys, please. As you see his head just going up and up and up till he's essentially looking up now.
Give me another wisdom saving throw, please.
DM, have I experienced this before?
Give me a history check.
What's going on?
The rest of you sort of see this cacophony begin to happen. No orders have been shouted to any of you yet, but you get the sense that something bad is happening.
Even with advantage, that's 6. Sorry.
I got a 16 on my history.
Arturius, this feeling, this kind of presence, because obviously your vision is not vision, it is sense. You have felt this sense one time before. In the immediate moments before you lost your vision.
I'm going to draw my sword and I'm
Artemis.
immediately sprinting up upstairs.
Artemis, and the rest of you, you see Artemis's back lock, his head back almost contorted, his mouth agape and his eyes rolled back.
What do we do?
Some of you instinctively begin to rush towards him to see if he's okay, to try and snap him out of whatever this is, but you are rebounded away. Some of you onto your backs, the others who see this happen to others of you stop dead in your tracks. From where these rebounds happened, you see the fabric of reality, like a mirror of glass, begin to crack, and through this crack reach out on either side of Artemis 2 pairs of arms which grip each of his shoulders. Jagged, black, spiky armor. What would you like to do?
Oh no!
So Lumiel naturally pulls her bow. That's more of a body instinct. But then she is looking between that and Fortress. Tell us what to do!
Fortress slams down the last of the shutters over the window and then puts her back to it, seemingly trying to push herself as far against the wall, as far away from whatever is happening as possible.
No.
Anything else anyone wants to do?
If I
It's a
see
split-second thing. This isn't a turn of combat. This is an
yeah,
Showing
I
all the
would.
arms. Disarming shot.
Okay, make an attack roll, please.
Get out the weapon.
I will have been immediately running towards the stairs, and then as I hear the commotion, turn and look back, and as soon as I see the spiky arms, Artorius will freeze.
Okay,
24 to hit.
24 to hit. Marcus?
You said that some of us would have been running towards him, but feel like a force field blocking us.
I would say that's probably you and Lumiel, and possibly either you or Jax. I'll let you guys decide.
In that case, fuck. Well, if the force field's up there, then I'm no good. I think I would just grab my hammer and brace, essentially, for impact.
Jax.
Yeah.
Your shot. You whip your pistol from your side, spin it on your finger, and hold aim immediately. You fire this shot. What do I have to do for a disarming shot?
Even throwing it.
Strength saving throw, DC 15.
One hand is shot, its grip loosened from Artemis's shoulders, and in this sweeping as the arm comes away, you see a face, or what looks like it could be a face. This gnarled, spiked, almost cast iron helmet. Just pull its torso and head and shoulders out from this rift, looks you dead in the eye, and the metal of this mask seems to contort into a mouth that at you, and it whips his arm. You are all immediately feel like you are sucked forward. Just before this happens, you all hear the Regent shout, "Close the door!" And that's where we're going to go for a break.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Slay.
we all need a break now. Yeah.
So, I'll give you guys 10 or 15 minutes to mull that over for a little bit, but we're going to go for a short break. Go and get yourself some refreshments, maybe have a little lie down, and we'll be back
Pair of pants. Yeah.
for this episode of Sins of the Peacekeeper to continue shortly. Thanks for joining. Stick around. Aerilon Sins of the Peacekeeper unfolds in the expansive metropolis of Valvaris. It's the crown jewel of Aerilon. Some might consider the capital city of the wider Aerilon, and it's often referred to as the oldest city. Valvaris has grown significantly and exponentially over the previous centuries, expanding far beyond its original walled boundaries. Unlike typical Dungeons and Dragons city settings, which often sort of focus on a singular or just a couple of themes, like Waterdeep being a bastion of trade and opportunity, or Candlekeep being, a fortress of scholarly pursuits. Valvaris is a diverse metropolis where one can discover a myriad of experiences, pursuits and creeds across its many districts and boroughs, each almost like a city within the city itself. Due to its immense size, significance, diversity of population, range of industries, Valvaris requires a multifaceted approach to law enforcement and national security. Various law enforcement and military entities work collaboratively, or sometimes in opposition with one another, to maintain order and safety for the city and its millions of inhabitants. The members of our party each come from one of these peacekeeping organisations, each forcibly reassigned, shall we say, from their original roles to a clandestine division that prioritises autonomy and plausible deniability in their pursuit of justice and Valvarian security. When I first came to the group with Aerilon, Sins of the Peacekeeper, one of the main things I wanted to get across was that I wanted them to start out, at least, with characters who are deeply flawed. You know, they're in this position for a reason, and I don't think anyone's quite taken that idea and run with it quite as much as Dan has with Artorias.
So you want to know who Artorias is? Well, it's easy, really. He is the strong but silent type. He is a man of honor, but he is deeply flawed. I'm being given the opportunity to be a player again for a long-term campaign, and it's given me the opportunity to explore some very human elements and very human flaws, and that will come to the surface through Artorias.
When approaching a paladin character, it can be very easy to sort of fall into one of two lanes, be it the hero of justice or the scorned, oathbreaker type out for revenge, whereas Artorias has some elements of both of those, but he is also fighting a much more personal war, aside from the spiritual side of his character.
He is a man of action, but will not act unless there is due cause. He's all about justice, really, as well. Like, he wants to ensure that people are treated fairly, people are treated right, but if you're a wrong'un, he'll put the sword to you, without a second thought.
Yeah, what can be said about Jax? I don't want to give too many spoilers away. He's not so much standoffish, more kind of reserved. He's not going to be the first person in the room to say something, but he's also not afraid to speak up for what he believes in. Well, his values are super important. He is a single father of 2 cats living in the Grand Market. He's got a bit of a grungy little apartment with kind of tinkering tables around, various like pulleys and mechanisms that break so frequently. Think Rodney from Robots in terms of like loving to tinker, but things explode a lot.
There's another aspect to his character, which is that of legacy. He comes from a family who have served Valvaris for generations.
Yeah, I feel like that might come up.
But he has been kind of thrust into the realization that society does come with a very, very human cost.
I think if he were to have a motto, it would probably leech on the back of the War Divers motto as they descend from the skies into battle of down to death.
So the War Divers are what you might consider the Spec Ops branch of the Valvarian March.
But for him, it's down to death of the system. Anarchy, baby!
Marcus, I would describe as more than meets the eye. Marcus is not to be underestimated.
Marcus is a really interesting one because, he is a very capable person, both on the battlefield and in his investigations.
He might be built like, the stereotypical jock, but he is definitely more clever than you think. That sort of brings up the question, what came first, the brains or the brawn?
He's less trying to redeem himself for past mistakes and more trying to navigate his way through the consequences of decisions he made, which at the time seemed like good decisions to make.
Is his reason for being there his fault? That's debatable, maybe.
but actually have much farther reaching consequences both for himself and the people around him and the city of Valvaris than he may have initially realised.
Marcus has a few skeletons in his closet. Usually you go in and you're like, okay, I'm an adventurer. This time around, I have no idea. And that's gonna be insane, and it's scary, but it's also really, really exciting.
Tell you about Lumielle. Well, she loves to be overestimated, and not in the way you might think. So she can be in a room where conversations are happening, where people don't think she really knows what's going on, but she is taking it all in.
Lumielle is definitely going to be the wild card in the party, as Natalie often tends to do.
She's great with details, and she has a long memory. So if you say something or do something that doesn't sit right with her, you can bet your ass that she knows exactly what you said.
They are certainly in this position by their own doing. There is very little manipulation from bureaucrats and higher forces that have gotten Lumielle to where she is. She's a bit of a mischief maker.
More forgive rather than forget. She loves to give people nicknames. She is very friendly and outgoing and personable. She can actually put up with a lot of gruffness before it would bother her. She also knows when to step back.
It's going to be really, really fun to see Lumielle kind of deal with some of the more stoic members of the party and how that is going to clash slightly maybe, but it's going to be an interesting ride for sure.
So I don't know how that's going to fit with the party. We have some interesting names going on so far. She's very aware of her surroundings, so she can fit into most situations comfortably.
Who is Artemis J. Stringfield? He is a character that fundamentally struggles to find a place in the world that seems to struggle to find a place for him.
Artemis is a bit of an enigma. He's figuring some stuff out, both about himself and about the world and its nature, of the nature of being and personality and all these different aspects that make people who they are.
He is different on a number of levels. He has a power that very few others have and could open the world up to him in so many different ways if he really put his mind to it, but he refuses to because he knows the more he does that, the more he will drive away the people he wants to help, wants to be around. He, on a deep level, wants to be accepted, wants to find friends and a place for himself in the world and to help and to be helpful and do good in whatever way he can. He is full of idiosyncrasies, he is strange, he is a wild intellect and a huge imagination. The two often combine to create all kinds of theories and conspiracies.
I sort of see Artemis almost like the sort of Fox Mulder allegory. He's very much in tune with the other side and constantly curious about what else is out there beyond the veil and beyond what the mind allows us to see.
It's going to be interesting and it's going to be fun to be probably the strangest character in a group of very serious, very hardened detectives by the sounds of it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I like to be strange.
Welcome back, happy campers. We're heading into a nice little relaxing second part of this week's episode of Sins of the Peacekeeper. So, as you guys felt this pull... What, Dan? Go on.
Nice, relaxing episode. Music, swift change, everyone nervous.
Let's bring it back down, guys.
Yep.
This is a terrifying experience. You guys feel almost as if a rope wrapped around your spine and pulled through your sternum drags you forwards for a split second. The room around you kaleidoscopes and shifts and twirls into nothingness, and then away from the darkness, a fog and smoke begins to dissipate, and you find yourselves in a very foreign place. And I'm going to show it to you.
No, don't. I don't want to know. No, I do. Show us.
You sure?
Yeah, show us.
You sure?
All I see is black at the moment.
I think that's what we're seeing in game as well.
Here's the map.
You guys
Void.
see. How do I get rid of? Oh God, hang on. Oh God, hang on. Right, I'm just going to do something quickly.
The darkness has got us.
Hey.
Not on how I thought. Oh wait, there we go. That's why. Bing. Oh,
Believe
wait.
it, I think God love. Sorry.
You prematurely said.
I'm
That
gonna
was a really stupid joke.
I'm going to start describing it to you. You find yourselves all sitting or standing at different corners of a strange landscape. The ground seems living, like bone or fossilized tentacles of some kind. How do I get rid of it? Remove fill. No! Other way! Enable fog cutting. There we go. And within this area, you see... Oh, no, fucking hell. Wait, hang on. I'm struggling with this, guys. Sorry, give me a second. It's making
Don't
me
worry,
nervous.
just calm down.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is a difficult thing to control.
You guys all see... Can you see this now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are all standing around a large chasm in a very strange land. Above and below you seems to be this marbled, somewhat organic sky and abyss. And you are on these floating areas of land or bone or fossil of some kind. As you begin to take in your surroundings, you all see that floating in the center of this chasm, at the same level of you guys as you guys, is Artemis. And at either of his shoulders, you see these gnarled... Sorry, I got a dry mouth. These gnarled, cast iron armor looking individuals, spikes coming off them and then shifting back into their armor, almost like viscous resin, metallic in its texture, like cast iron. And they are both holding onto Artemis, who is static, head up. Can I have you all roll initiative, please?
Oh no.
Yes, you can.
Including me?
Okay.
Yeah, is that including Dan?
Yes.
Other Dan?
Yes, it's
You are
including both
Dan.
hands.
I know, but there's two of us, and we need a way to distinguish. So I am the other
Both Dans, please.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm going to come around to you each individually, please. Can I get Lumiel's initiative?
I wasted a nat 20 for 23.
23, it's not a waste. Probably not a waste. Jax,
16.
16. Gil,
15.
15. Marcus,
18.
nice. And Arthur.
18.
Okay.
You have the bigger decks.
Yeah, you know it. Hey, that was a Dex joke.
At this point, Artemis, you are in initiative, but you are within the grips of whatever these things are doing to you. This realm that you guys are in seems amorphous, chaotic, terrifying, beyond the pale of anything you could imagine. Everywhere you look around you in the brief moments that you have a chance to when not transfixed by these two terrifying forms, nothing makes sense. Are you looking up? Are you looking down? Is something moving at speed? The shapes shift. You see shadows of creatures beyond comprehension, slipping between the shadows of the rocks. Floating masses are everywhere. And in the center of these few masses that you are on, you see Artemis in the grips of these two beings. Lumiel, you're up first. You are stood right at the edge as you come to consciousness again, finding ground below your feet. You are on a slight slant, and you see these razor sharp, almost crystal, but again metallic, and the surface of which looks like wrought iron, but crawling with worms.
Ew. Okay, wildly looking around for a second, catching Gil in her sights and these creatures. Without even thinking, she is just going to throw out her arm, and these 3 darts of like really bright white light is going to shoot out. 2's going to hit the one above him, or on the map, and 1's going to hit the one below him, and I'm casting Magic Missile.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage for me, please. There's no save, so these just hit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, 2.
2 on the first attack to the one above.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, 3 on the second one.
Okay.
And
then to the other.
4.
4.
Pew pew pew.
Pew 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 indeed. These orbs of light fire out from your hands, and you see they almost fizzle, and little arcs of them try and go off in different directions as they fly through the air. Much different to how you're used to this magic working. It's almost as if there's a lack of control, or a lack of whatever magic weave you use to conjure these things is frayed in this space. Barely existent, almost like you're manifesting it. And without the help of the weave of the natural world, it is tentative.
Would I get sneak attack on one of those?
Sneak attack is not for magic, unfortunately, no.
Oh, okay, sorry. Just this ranged weapon. Weapon, I suppose, yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's my entire turn. She's not moving.
They all hit, and you do see these things react. They're what looks like wrought iron armor, but moves like flesh. You see does kind of bowl. What's the word for that? There's a better word for that than bowl, isn't there? Anyway,
concave
in, and then return to their normal spike. You see almost new spikes grow out of the area that you hit after they connect. Nothing else on your turn?
I'm gonna shout out to Gil and. Is he conscious? Can I see if he's conscious? He looked before like he was losing consciousness.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna have you make a check. You'd need to if it was to gain any more than this. He certainly doesn't look unconscious. Whether he's lucid, whether he's in control, his eyes are open. His body's moving of its own accord, but it's jittering and clenching and.
And I'm just gonna shout, "Hold on!"
Okay, Marcus, you're up.
Just as a quick aside, from the disarming shot, there would have been 11 points of damage with that, just so you know.
Thank you. Okay.
I think it's Arthur's first.
Oh, Arthur's got high dex. Sorry, yeah, let me change that. Arthur, what are you going to do?
I have my sword drawn,
Mhm.
and my gaze currently fixed upon these two floating entities.
Mhm.
I begin to walk, slowly along this beam.
Mhm.
So I've stood here, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20 to here. And as I'm walking, I raise the sword up towards both of them and go, "My prayers have been answered, it seems. Where is he?" And for those of you that can see, you see his sword arm is shaking, and the end of the blade shaking. "Where have you taken him?" And
Arthurius, before you describe what you're going to do next, I just want to let you know, you see these figures suspended in air. You see the essence of Artemis between them. But all around you, in every periphery of your vision, behind them, everywhere, distant, more distant than you're used to, maybe even more distant than you ever saw with your own eyes, there is a writhing storm of black clouds and red, purple, and green hues flashing. Complete chaos.
"You took him from me, and I want him back." I will step down to here. So I will kind of like step off onto this next limb.
I'm
walk to here.
going to let you know,
Mhm.
as you step off that limb, your weight carries in a straight line. There is no arc to your descent.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Thank you. And I will drop to here, and I will use my Channel Divinity. I've not used it since. Also, did we have enough time? Would you grant us a short rest at all between... while we were kind of like searching and like wandering back, and like you said, we were using the Silver Canal.
I will say you were using the Silver Canal. I will allow you guys to roll 1 hit dice each, if you have any left.
Thank you. Okay.
Because it was not necessarily a rest.
Okay.
It's quite a speed. Oh no, no.
It's an active rest, yeah.
Okay. So that's 1d10.
There was some breaks in between where you travelled, you walked places between. I'd say overall, in total, probably.
Okay. Cool. And then I will Channel Divinity. I will use my bonus action to turn the tide. As a bonus action, each creature of my choice within 30 feet of me regains 1d6 plus 4 hit points if it has no more than half its max HP. So I have less than half HP, so I would get 1d6 plus 4. So that's 3 plus 4, that's 7 points of healing, and that would count for Lumiel, Artemis, and Marcus as well if they are below half HP. You can give yourself 7 hit points if that's the case.
Thank Christ for that. Thank you, buddy.
And then... I'm going to take a javelin out.
Okay.
I'm going to... and pull as my action. And I'll wait a second to see if they respond to the cries out to give me him back. Is that drawn their attention? Has that like stirred any sort of reaction in them?
These things are in a constant state of rearrangement. Their body is almost fluid, like unset resin, but hard like wrought iron.
Okay.
It's difficult to gauge whether there was a reaction, but you think, just maybe, you saw this one's eyes sink into its head and then rearrange slightly closer towards you.
Okay. I'm going to throw a javelin towards the one closest to me.
Make an attack for me, please.
That's an 11.
11 total. Misses,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I have 1 second level spell slot left, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to throw my second javelin.
Okay.
13 plus 7, that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits. Give me some damage. You see the first javelin you threw sails off in this direction.
Okay.
Just straight.
Okay. That's 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Anything else on your turn? That was the top one, right?
This one here, yes, sir.
Cool. And Lumiel, the top one is the one you hit twice, right?
Nothing else on my turn, no. But you guys would see that I am visibly shaking.
Marcus.
Right. 2 questions. With my analytic mind that I have, seeing that the javelin goes just straight when throwing it, there's no arc towards it, and there wasn't really an arc towards Arthur's descent down. Would it be reasonable for me to assume that either gravity is lower here or non-existent?
What is your passive investigation?
16.
16. You feel your feet are firmly on the ground. You are not floating or anything like that.
Yep.
But whatever gravity exists here does not stray very far from whatever is producing it. And also, while there may not be gravity in open space, there is certainly inertia. Things that move will move until something else happens to them.
All right. So with that sort of popping into my mind and just getting a heal, knowing that I am spent, but we have a friend who's in dire need of assistance, I'm gonna put my hand up towards my face and bite my thumb, draw it across my hammer, and activate my second Crimson Rite.
Okay.
So I'm taking 2 points of damage. And then I'm gonna take 2-3 steps back, and I'm just gonna run and jump
You
towards
run.
these guys.
You jump, pushing off with both feet, and you carry through the air on an intercept course with these beings.
So I'm trying to sort of arc just above the one that's closest towards me and Arthur.
Okay.
And as I do, I want to barrel myself with the weight of my hammer to sort of come across from it and smack it in the face,
Okay.
continuing towards the other side.
Make an attack for me.
Yep. That's 17 plus 6.
Hits.
Right. That is 11 plus a 5, so 16 points of damage. 5 fire.
Okay, so 11 slash bludgeoning.
Yeah, and 5 fire damage.
Fire damage. Okay. Again, as you hit with this hammer, you see the flesh kind of boom and go flat and almost pearlescent until slowly kind of wormy texture, the wrought cast iron texture returns and more spikes begin to emerge. However, the fire leaks and seems to fill the cracks between each panel.
So, here's another question. With me jumping, would you say that I'd spent how much movement?
You spent the movement that you took to get there, which was like back and then 5 feet. So you will move. How far did you? So 10 feet. So in this round, you'll move an additional 20 foot in this direction. So you'll end up here.
All right. Cool.
However, as you pass over, you deliver this blow, and it kind of still holding onto Artemis, but from its back, you see an arm clawed reach out and take a strike at you.
Yep.
That's going to be a 14 to hit.
Misses me.
Okay. Whew.
Just trying my best to barrel roll this.
Yeah, and you do the spin of your cut just manages to knock it off balance enough so that the slash doesn't quite get to you.
I'm assuming that wouldn't get a second strike in because I'm doing this in moving.
If you have 2 attacks on your turn, I'll allow you to take 2 attacks because it's still part of your turn. It's not reaction.
So that is a 13.
13 misses.
Cool. Makes sense.
Okay. And you end up over there. Bonus action done. Action done.
Yep.
Okay. Jax.
Interestingly enough, similar plan, but slightly different. So Jax is not taking a running leap, is just going to use the power of the boots and is going to propel himself forward. But instead of aiming for the creatures, I am barrel rolling and trying to grapple Artemis and use the propulsion and the inertia to keep us moving outside of the reach. And I'm aiming to cover him so that I take the opportunity attacks.
Okay. First, I'm going to need you to make a strength check. Athletics.
The acrobatic brothers.
19.
19. You barrel into the ether and begin making your way towards Artemis. You collide with him, wrap your arms under his shoulders, and one of these creatures loses grip. The other, however, maintains a hold on Artemis, and you all swing round.
Oh no.
You sort of grab him, and the inertia of your impact spins the I keep nearly saying the name. The creature who grips on.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn?
No, I think I'm just gonna have to I'm just keeping on holding on. Really.
Keep holding on. Sorry, not the time for Simply Red.
It's always a time for Simply Red.
That's your turn, Jax?
Yeah.
Okay, Artemis, can I have you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Come on, big numbers. That's 7. Even with advantage, that's a 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, you are not able to break free from this grasp.
Do I feel anything? Do I have any? What's currently going on with Artemis right now? Because is he aware of what's going on? Does he know that he is frozen? Does he have any semblance of awareness of what's going on around him?
I'm glad you asked.
Cool.
You are in a white corridor,
Okay.
walking, drifting slowly forward towards a black door that is slowly opening in front of you.
Are there double doors?
No, single black door at the end of a white corridor.
If I try to use any of my telepathic abilities, do they work? Like if I try to summon up, say, like my telepathic mage hand, like my telekinesis, can I do anything?
unfortunately, at this stage, you are being beckoned towards a door at the end of a white corridor.
Right, okay. Oh, so I'm being okay. So I'm not just drifting; I'm being beckoned towards it. Me as
You have you're on your
I'm just
way
doing
there.
it.
You have no sense that you shouldn't be going there.
on the way.
Okay. Next up, the creature that was broken free from its grasp on Artemis turns to, let's say, Lumiel, because Lumiel's the only one.
Let's say.
Well,
Why
I'm
not?
Lumiel's the only one that's hit it, so. Lumiel, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's and that's +0. That's a 5.
Okay, 5. As it loses its grip, the one impact that it's taken, it turns what can only be described as a head, but is definitely something else, to you. Its metallic, plated mouth seems to open in a very biological way that makes you feel uncomfortable, and you see a piercing yellow light come from within. You are stunned
The deadline.
Oh,
as it casts Power Word Stun.
Oh!
Fuck me!
No,
Oh, damn!
that's a power word, people.
okay.
The other
Somebody
one.
slap Artemis awake now.
The other one will begin to try and rid itself of the person who's just flown towards it like a human missile.
Hello.
It's going to take a ribbon dagger attack against you.
Oh.
You see one of its limbs. There's more than the normal amount, and they keep sort of going in and going back out again as part of these spikes. One of them whips out from just above its collarbone and tries to whip you off. Ooh, that's a 25 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you take. You take 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And take. $12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
I think it can only do that for now. Yep. That's it for now. Yeah. That's all it does for now. Those are its goes. We're back to the top. Lumiel.
Do I make the save at the end or the start of my turn?
You make the save. Good question. At the end of each of its turns. So can you please make a Constitution saving throw?
Okay, that's better. Still +0. Don't know why I checked that. It's a 15.
15. Unfortunately, you are still stunned.
Ay.
Okay.
Alterius.
I don't want to. Okay. I'm going to see. I'm going to get the sense that all of my friends here are in trouble and ignore that entirely as I am going to, as a free action, scream out, Tristan!
Okay. Interesting. No apparent effect.
Kind of a... Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Oh, guys.
What are you going to do, Arthur?
Well, I'm going to
I'm
jump
very
into...
stressed right
I'm going to jump into the void with everyone else because that's the only way for me to do any...
High in the void, let's go!
In which direction are you jumping into the void?
Or is it?
Can we just note that the only flying character is the only one not jumping into the void? Like,
You're all flying characters here. Don't worry about it.
I am not going to do that.
Right.
I am going to spend a 2nd level spell slot stupidly, and I'm going to cast Bless. Because it's a 2nd level spell, I get an additional person. So I'm going to choose Marcus, Jax, Lumiel, because it gives D4 on saving throws, and I'm going to use it on Artemis as well to give him an additional D4 on his wisdom save. I think that's the best course of action.
That's my paladin. That's my paladin.
So that is my action. And then...
Blessed.
Oh, Harness Divine Power isn't till a long rest. That's shit. Wait. Do I have anything I can do? No. That's my action. Fuck.
Rush you along here.
I know. I'm sorry. So I've not blessed myself. I'm blessing these full.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, you're good. Okay, the rest of my movement, I'm going to hop. I'm going to launch myself up. I'm going to try and move back onto here. And then I suppose I'm going to begin running this way. I'm going to run back to where I was.
Okay.
So I can get to here. But as I'm running, I want to kind of like be looking around. And again, I'm just yelling out, Tristan! Tristan! As I run around to try and see if I can get anything back.
Okay. Make me a charisma check. Marcus.
Ooh, 23. A charisma check.
Straight charisma.
23.
Cool. Noted.
Thank you. I will
So
go back
would
to
I just
soiling
continue
myself.
traveling in the distance I was here?
You continue to travel. Yes. Here there is. Hang on. Oh, I'm not going to try and reveal more fog, but there is a mass here as well, which you are moving towards because you went in a straight line, slightly above. But...
So as I'm moving towards that straight line, I'm gonna try and.
You
fucking
might
aim.
pass within proximity of this, but it would require a check, which I won't count as your action, to swing around it.
Fuck it, I'll swing.
Could go really bad. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, depends if you talked about it first.
Okay, acrobatics check, please.
Fuck you, Dan.
All right.
I get blessed on this, right?
Yeah, you're blessed. So blessed.
Do I have?
Jesus, boy.
That's a 15.
Okay, you are able to correct course. Which way do you want to start heading back towards?
So I'm gonna course correct by grabbing it with my arm, put my feet up on top of it, and since the guy's still holding on to Artemis, I'm just gonna launch towards him with my hammer out.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to do that with that acrobatics check. You swing round, start heading back towards. You have flanking advantage with Jax.
I'm
Make an
aiming
attack.
straight for him, like I'm colliding.
Yeah, fuck you, Jax.
So that's a dirty 20.
20.
So good.
Hits.
Oh, yeah. I realized Bless was on attack as well, but never mind. It hits. Cool. Oh, damn. Okay, that's 15 bludgeoning.
Nice.
and 3 fire, so 18. Well, max damage on 2 of those.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Let's roll something. Where did my D20 go? There it is. Okay. Yeah, you impact with your hammer against this thing, which stops your momentum through the transfer of force. You are now floating in the air next to this thing.
Yeah.
But you did hit it.
That-
Looked like it hurt.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna push off just slightly, swing my hammer, and aim for the arm that's holding Artemis.
Okay, so you wanting a cold shot here?
Yeah.
Okay, give me an attack.
Natural 17 plus 6 plus 2. So
25.
You are able to impact this arm. Give me damage. Oh, I'm sweating as well.
double 6s again.
Right.
Oh my god.
You roll again.
And so that's a 2 this time on the fire damage. So 15, 17 total. 2 of them is fire damage.
17 total. 2 of fire damage. Ooh, okay, so you see this arm get almost the majority of it blown into the ethers. You see this black resiny sort of geometric bubbles float away, but then the one slither of arm that remained quickly
Can I
crawls
try and
towards
stop
each other.
my hammer in where the arm goes off?
You got a 25 to hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you do it if you use your reaction to do it.
Yeah, I'll
For
use
this
my
turn.
reaction to do that.
Okay, you do.
I'll-
You
Bump it down, and then I'll try and shove my hammer into where just a sliver, so it can't.
Hey.
Hoping it can't reform properly.
Anything else in your turn? You see
That's me.
the tendrils begin to sort of move up the side of your hammer.
Yeah, that's me.
Jax, you
Okay.
are clutching loosely onto Artemis, having been slightly knocked off balance by this impact.
I will kind of right myself, and then I think I'm just gonna take out my combat knife, and I'm gonna just try and sever. I'm gonna also do a cold shot and try and sever at the other arm on Artemis.
Okay, yep, go ahead and make an attack. You're blessed, but it's cold shot. Where are you guys now? You also have flanking advantage.
Oh, amazing! Because that was awful. That's a natural 20.
Yes!
There we go.
Let's go.
We got one.
We got one.
We needed one, but we got one.
It's actually a very, very important one.
Talk about being blessed right now.
So that is.
Any damage first, please, and then we'll.
Yep, hang on. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 points of damage.
Okay, is that critted or?
It's just a short sword, so it
Okay.
yeah, it was just 4 doubled to 8.
Okay.
Wow.
Now let me find this junky crit thing. Dan, you sent me a new one, right?
Yeah, if you want to use that one, you can.
Yeah, why not, guys? We're getting a new
New
chunky
chunky
crit table.
crits.
Well, I just rolled a 19 on that, so
Oh, you emailed it to me. Which
Right, I've got the thing if you want to just do it, but you effectively need
this
to.
rolled it to me.
Okay, was
Oh,
that
yeah,
a
you did it.
was that a spell or was that a weapon attack?
it's a weapon attack. I don't do spells,
Okay.
and I got a
Uh,
19.
No. So you need to now roll a D100.
I rolled a 19.
Oh no, it's in like. Oh, is it D100 now?
Yeah, D100. Let me just get this to the crit table. 1 second.
Oh shit.
Hey, nice.
Okay.
None.
I got 69.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
go!
so you kick your target's weapon out of their hand. You are able to disarm your. You are able to take the disarm action after your attack, and you can steal the weapon if you have a free hand. But otherwise, you knock their weapon 20 feet away.
I mean, guys, sometimes the dice tell the story better than we can. you slice through this last remaining slither of this thing's arm, which is trying to connect back to the hand gripping Artemis. And you succeed.
You literally disarmed it.
It dissolved.
No additional damage though, Dan, right?
Nope.
Okay. Artemis,
Mm-hmm.
as you begin approaching the boundary of this door, you hear a familiar whisper. Open the door. Open the door. But you become aware
It's off,
Of-
Ghost.
another consciousness re-emerging.
Okay.
The consciousness you're used to, back in the body that you inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like you're seeing two images at the same time. You begin to see through this fog, through this almost piercing glaze of this corridor and this door, which is now almost all the way open. You see your friends around you. You see this plane of chaos that you're within. You're aware of both consciousnesses at once. What would you like to do?
Looking around at everyone trying to free him from the armor and knowing that this voice has talked to him before, trying to force him to do whatever this is he is going to do. How far from the door is he, like, naturally? It's like just
You've been drifting towards it. You're probably about 10 feet from it now.
okay. As he looks around and sort of hears this voice claim to open the door and open the door, and the familiar presence behind him just, no. And with his telekinetic ability, he is going to send out a invisible mage hand to grab the door handle and just slam it shut with his telekinetic ability, as he is where he is, and he's going to try and slam this door shut.
Artemis, you reach out your mind to this door slowly creaking open before you, a black nothingness on the other side. You gain a moment of dual clarity, but you focus in on the corridor. You focus on the door, and you reject it. You reach out. You begin to pull it closed, and just as you do, a hand stops the door ajar, almost catching the fingers in the crack between the door frame. It is similarly metallic, but much more uniform, like black steel plate armor. Its spikes far sharper and straight than that of the beings around you. There is a kaleidoscopic field of distortion around it, almost like a camera rapidly going in and out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make a charisma check for me, please?
Yes. I'm good at those.
You have inspiration.
You
And
also
bless.
Yeah, right. Hold on. Charisma save.
charisma check.
Charisma check. Right,
Oh, so
okay.
you can't have bless on
You
that.
are trying to perform an action. You're not
Okay.
stopping yourself from doing anything. You are trying to perform something. Advantage and bless.
Advantage and bless, that's fine. I don't need the advantage, but I will roll the bless anyway. So, with a natural 20, that is a 24 plus the 2 for bless, so that would be 26 altogether.
Let's go!
You fight this force, and eventually its fingers, as if in pain, and then
Get
all
out
at
of
once, the door slams. You are sent backwards, back down the corridor. The rest of you see Artemis go from this rigid form to loose again, and you are all thrust back into the room, back at the Last Chance Saloon. And Artemis, You are in the process of being tackled to the ground by the Regent, who's shouting, "Close the door!"
As he comes to the floor, Artemis's eyes are going to snap back into place as his jaw comes down.
This is not the right music, sorry.
Oh, it works. It works perfectly.
That's funky. As he's tackled to the ground and he feels the Regent on top of him, his eyes will widen, having seen him in this vision before, and sort of looking at the Regent, goes, "No, I've seen what has happened to me.
Okay.
No!" And
It's okay.
And with my ability to telekinetically shove, his hand is basically going to go into the Regent's chest, and he's just going to literally just try and force push him off of him, and like in just sheer panic. It's not like he's trying to attack; he's just trying to throw this guy from him.
The rest of
tele-
you
Hmm.
tumble to your knees. Those of you who are suspended reappear about 1 foot above the ground and fall all around the room.
I think
And
my
you
hammer
see-
would just go swinging.
You see the
Come
Regent. Okay, yeah, you swing and you take out a whole table. And you see the Regent clutching Artemis's shoulders before being blown by a wave and slamming against the ceiling before falling to the floor. And then
As he hits the floor, you just see Artemis like scramble up onto his back and sort of onto his hands, and he's just like moving towards walls, trying to find an out, but there's clear stuff behind him. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. No.
Hey.
What?
It's okay.
Fortress rushes towards the Regent, who sticks up a hand to stop her as she approaches and finds his way to his feet. He looks at Fortress with a serious gaze, who stares back in his eyes. Is everyone all right? Are we all back?
I'm gonna be sick.
What the fuck is going on?
Why do you know about the door? Why were you in my visions, Regent? Who are you? What do you know? And that you can genuinely see, like, Gil is shaking like a leaf in front of him, barely stood up. His like flop sweats generally seem, you can't tell if it's sweat or tears, but he is just like physically shaking in place.
The Regent gets himself to his feet, looks down at the floor, and picks up the broken cigarette, rips off the broken part, and relights it halfway down. He begins to walk towards you and then crouches in front of you, looks you in the eyes. So, well done, Gil. I knew you could close the door. I've seen you do it before.
What do you mean you've seen me do it before? What is going on? Where am I? Why is this happening to me now?
Just relax. Everything's under control. Is anyone hurt? Is anyone down?
Artorius will just have dropped the sword, dropped to his knees, and it's just staring at the ground.
Take that as a positive response.
Yeah, no one's down. Gil, can I get you anything? Do you need anything?
I don't know, Jack. I don't know what I need. I need answers. I need to get out of here. I need somewhere safe. I can't do this anymore.
Fortress, you hear the heels of her shoes rush towards you, and she places a hand on your knee. I need you to make a charisma saving throw. Unless you're allowing this to happen.
Does it, from the initial feeling before I try to make it save, does it feel like she's trying to? Does it feel like aggressive in nature, or does this feel more like help in a way?
Feels very familiar because you can also do this. She's casting calm emotions on you. You see you feel the wave of psionic energy begin to approach
Yeah.
and extend
So-
from our hand.
Feeling something exceptionally, feeling his own powers or own abilities and sort of come across him. He just sort of like, oh, you're psionic too. I know that power. I got it. You do this to me. Did you bring me here because you knew?
The regent stands up, walks to the front of the room near the caseboard. Listen. There is knowledge that you'll need in the performance of your duties. But, well, it's not exactly next week's fucking lottery numbers. It's the type of knowledge that you don't want unless you need it. And for now, you'll have to trust me on that. But I'll admit this does accelerate things a little bit. I can see the looks on your faces. Believe me, I've been there. Time. Soon. You'll be ready to know what we're up against, but what you've just seen is why we're all here.
Were those the things that did this to me? Were they the ones that did this to my mind?
All will come soon enough, Artemis. Just know you're safe, and you did well. Fortress steps up to the regent. You hear her sort of say, in a way that is not hushed, but is not clearly not intended to be announced to the room. Go there. Speak to them. The sanctity of this house must be restored now. The regent turns and looks at Fortress briefly, but then down to the floor. Don't forget who's in charge around here. You may have their face, but you don't have... Sorry, you may have her face, but you don't have their authority. I'll be on my way. The rest of you, well done. You have been tested, but not necessarily by us. We've had every faith in this team since the start, but there are parties in the know, though few, who needed a little more convincing that such a irregular group of operatives can form a cohesive team. I think you've more than proven that on this case, and with what just happened here. Now, I'm heading to the 6th floor. I'll be back shortly. He begins to turn and walk towards his office. Sorry, go ahead.
As soon as he turns, I'm starting to walk straight towards Arthur.
Okay. As you begin to approach Arthur and the regent begins to enter his office, he opens the door, takes a step in. He says, "Oh, and one more thing." He looks back over his shoulder. "You've all leveled up." Winks and closes the door behind him. You see...
What does that mean?
You see Fortress lower her chin slightly, and you see the very stern look on her face from what Regent just said gives way to a very short smile as she lowers her head. And then she raises her head, looks to the side in her usual sort of headmistressly attitude. Is that a word? Headmistressly?
Yeah,
Sure.
It is now.
it's now.
House, please inform Bandolier to make the next tier of requisitions available. Well done, agents. And welcome to the family. That's where we're going to end this week's episode. However, before we do, I'd like you all to head over to Owlbear very quickly, because for the first time in this campaign, we can call that case closed.
Case closed! Nice!
Excellent.
Okay, a little short one for this time because I knew that D&D Beyond wasn't working, so I didn't want to throw too much at you
It
guys.
felt like so much happened in that episode as well. Like,
It didn't feel short, like
No.
at all.
No, it really didn't. I'm surprised it's only 8:15. It's quarter to 9.
No.
But thank you guys.
you
I
okay,
hope-
Dan?
I hope that's
And
fine.
Dan.
Dan and Dan, you guys all right?
So I joined this campaign and created a character that was haunted by his past, and within one session went, no, I need to move away from that. I need to grow as a character, and Arthur needs to be a bit more than that. 6 sessions in, and Chris is like, no, you fucking don't.
Totally back in, literally into the void.
Oh man, that has fucked him up.
That was
massively.
brilliant.
That was brilliant though, Chris. Well done.
Good.
Bad, I'm
Fuck,
sorry
I hate
for a
being
bit-
stunned. Like, ah!
Yeah, unfortunately, but you know, I had an 8th level spell. I had to use it.
Oh no, 100%.
Okay, well, guys, we're going to return again soon for the next episode of Sins of the Peacekeeper. The true objective and purpose of this division that you guys have all been assigned to seems to be coming into a clearer view, but not quite clear enough yet for some of you, I'm sure. However, congratulations on completing your first case. Well done. I could not have predicted you guys going that hard on the planning. You guys got all the clues that I was laying down. Really, really proud of you guys. And yeah, thanks for watching as well. Thanks for being here.
Much fun.
We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Ta-ta!
Bye.
I'm gonna go
Bye.
shower because I'm sweaty. Bye.